Over the recent years, the dinosaur survival genre has been getting more traction from the gaming community and developers alike. In a bit over 24 months, not only the top 3 games gained some significant additional popularity, but the amount of titles and projects announced both publicly and privately has also been increasing in an exponential rate. And you would expect this to be considered a good thing. I mean, the more titles we have available, the more content we have to enjoy, right? Well, in reality, it appears that a decent portion, if not the majority, of the audience's reception whenever a new title is announced is rather negative. Isles of Yore, Aldean of Ancients, Primeval Horizon, Dinosaur's Prehistoric Survivors, Mesozoicum, Sanctuary Island, Isles of Pangaea, Pangaea Survival, Historia, Yoimaya, Wake of Pandora, Echoes of Extinction. Every time one of these is revealed to the public, the almost immediate response is disappointment or even frustration. It is so prevalent and common, in fact, that the term Isle clone became a standard and default categorization of most of these upcoming games, and the results go way beyond mere words. Out of the few that already got released, not a single one survived its initial launch, being completely dead on arrival without even reaching triple-digit users at their absolute peak. There is no doubt that players are dissatisfied with the current state of the genre, being a somewhat occurring topic between dinotubers like myself and even more so within the genre's community. But to what extent is that discontent justified? Is the player base too biased to the point that they utterly refuse to play anything else, or are the games themselves the main cause of their own failure? Because this is not normal. Literally every dinosaur survival title that it's not the Isle, Path or Bob died, and died horribly. I have never seen a genre having such a steep discrepancy between the top products and the average. There must be a factor shared with all of these that heavily contribute to their downfall. And if we discover what that is, perhaps we can save all the other games that are still yet to come. At the end of the day, a game's success is almost exclusively due to their value on the market, regardless of their graphical fidelity, their art style, their movement, audio, mechanics, features, or overall content. A good game, no matter how niche or obscure it is, will always have their intrinsic value acknowledged, and it will be popular. To have this level of poor and low reception, it is evident that these games have such severe or fundamental issues that nobody even gives them a chance. And while some of you might point out that marketing is also an important factor, when it comes to niche genres like dinosaur survival, the benefit of traditional marketing is actually not that effective, because the community that enjoy these games is so small that the word spreads easily and quickly anyway, and the vast majority of fans rapidly get to know the existence of these upcoming titles. Before I continue to this next segment though, I want to make it very clear that I'm not personally attacking any developers of the games mentioned on this video. I'm going to be brutally honest in a sec, but I'm talking about the product and the product alone. I will always deeply respect hardworking devs that dedicate their time and resources in building a game that they enjoy, regardless if it succeeds or not. So in case developers of these titles end up watching this, please understand that I'm exclusively criticizing your game, nothing else. Alright, moving on. There is indeed a portion of the community that are in fact biased towards one of the most popular dino survival games, usually the Isle fans, that do unfairly critique and judge these upcoming projects. They ignore all the good aspects and mechanics they bring to the table, they overly highlight their flaws, they label them derogatory terms like Isle clones, as I said before, as a way to devalue them, and actively prevent people from buying them or even being excited about them. But here's the thing, this group of people is rather small, they just appear larger because they are the most vocal. The death of these games are not the result of a unanimous reluctance of the community to play them. It is the result of the cold but simple fact that these are bad games. This is the issue all these titles, both upcoming and released, have. They straight up lack quality. The graphics are dated, the aesthetic is inconsistent or non-existent, the movement is jagged and clunky, the animations are awful, the combat is extremely basic, laggy, or just feels terrible, the audio design is bland, its quality lackluster, and the amount of content is very low or badly copied versions of other games. Nobody can deny that the developers behind these projects are working out of pure passion. No dev with a sole focus on profit would even consider making games in this genre. I mean, look at Isles of Yore, a game made by a single person who got a maximum of 77 players at their peak and a daily player base of 2, is still getting updates that add mechanics and new playables. If that's not passion, I don't know what is. These devs want to expand the genre, push it forward, improve it. They want to provide us with an enjoyable experience. And while they do focus on figuring out ways to solve some important issues that the most popular titles have, the more mechanical and basic components are just not prioritized. A game does need to have a clear and defined vision. A game does need to have a unique selling point. A game does need to bring something new to the market in order to be successful. But I'm sorry, if playing feels like shit, no one will try it and no one will stay as a fan, no matter how well designed your exclusive feature might be. The movement needs to feel good, it needs to be precise and responsive. The animations have to be fluid, both the animations themselves and the transition between them. They need to be easily readable and immersive. The audio design must be unique, easily distinguishable and high quality. Combat has to be fair, consistent, exciting for both sides, and cognitively stimulating. The complexity is not all that important as long as it's the bare minimum. Combat in these games are crucial, because they represent an important aspect of the immersive component of a simulated ecosystem, which is something practically all these titles are aiming towards. Predators hunt, males fight for herds or packs leadership, babies practice their skills with their siblings. These activities need to be fair, but most importantly, satisfying. Even if we remove the gatekeeping portion of the community, the vast majority is still not interested in these new games, not because the Isle or Path are better, but because the alternatives are so low in quality on the most basic mechanics and systems that it's just not worth the money or time, even if those titles have better themes, art styles, or fix major issues the former have. An exclusive gimmick or a well-designed gameplay loop is just as important as possessing a solid, enjoyable, professionally crafted and high-quality core functions. Movement, sound, combat. Those are the game's foundation, their structure. If those aspects are bad, then the entire game is bad. A huge thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel and the content I create. If you want to join the ranks, you can do so for only $1 a month, the link will be in the description. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions down below, join our Discord server for memes and pillaging that stuff, and I hope to see you all next week.